Welcome, Web3 Media friends. Excited to bring you guys the best of the week as we're looking into a lot of FUD in the marketplaces and having a lot of consternation about a lot of headlines that are espousing that NFTs are going through a tough time. We've been, how long have we been going through a tough time? Like it's just like we've had a year and a half of a tough time. Nice little spike recently, but I think it's great for us who are building because now we're able to acquire assets that we've been having our eyes on for a long time that aren't oversold by speculators. And now the real building begins. And I think, in today's show, I'm excited to talk to Burning Bush over from Hologram, who's going to talk about leveraging IP, even though like you don't have this 3D avatar within the project. And so just talking about IP and how to leverage that into media and create characters, bringing on one of our favorite characters, Gaston from the I'm a DGen set. Bonjour. I'm very happy to be here on this show today, representing the Amadigians who are now releasing the Voyager series. And you seem very nervous about the Voyager series. I know that there were some issues with the police. I mean, I'm sensing a lot of tension from you. No, monsieur, there's no tension from me about anything that has happened around any dark holes or any black holes or people falling into these black holes. I have no agreement or disagreement about what may or may not have occurred there. And so for me, maybe this tension is what you're seeing is because there are no royalties, again, coming to me, the poor artist. The Gaston has no one clicking on the optional new royalties on the open seas. You fuckers all go from 5% to 0, and I feel it. I am very, very poor. Well, I know it's very, very tough on you, and just living even in the metaverse as you do, homeless is challenging. Well, this is why I need to start making money on you, meatbag. Oui. You're not like this Pepe coin. I mean, look at you. Look at what you have there. Oh, thank you. I feel a little bit better about myself today. Thanks. Appreciate that. I mean, the Chico on the music store, she says you have like the perfect eyebrows, my friend. So we got to monetize that sweet facial hair, my friend, the facial hair branding. Facial hair? I mean, it's... Wait. Like maybe the Dollar Shave Club, maybe guys, they will, look, guys, look me. I'm going to talk to you, the Dollar Shave Club guys. I will shave this meatbag where he sleeps if you drop 2 ETH into my wallet, s'il vous plaît. Whoa, okay. Gaston, I am not shaving for anything under 3 ETH. So that wallet again is mintyfreshvibes.eth. But today's guest, we're going to talk about ways outside of cutting and shaving your facial hair to generate business for yourself. Whether that's on the marketing side, because we all know, in this space, storytelling, characters, that is the marketing in this space. And oftentimes that starts for me with, developing my character. And, I start with a very detailed backstory, and I make great effort with it to talk to Gaston and really discover sort of what it is that his point of view is in the world, and I make gosh darn sure that my PFP project has 3D assets in their roadmap. But if not, here comes a company like Hologram. So let's get into our talk today with Burning Bush. Web3 Media friends, welcome to another Overtime show. This is the side hustle that I'm up late with my friend Burning Bush from Hologram, who's director of vibes and in partnerships and events. Welcome, Burning Bush. This is so late, and this is the crazy part about sort of the side hustle that is Web3. But this is, I find, like when I'm on Twitter and I'm up late, sometimes I'll just go into spaces and you'll still be up, even though you're on the East Coast. This is like the ultimate side hustle especially for parents, right?
It is. It's funny you call it like the side hustle. Definitely a way that you could describe it. Even like working full time in Web3, I find myself working like
on top of it, right?
Yeah, it's like working double time. It's like you're always working all the time, and it's like it never stops. And then you got the kids on top of it. It's more than a full-time job, right? It's like my kids are coming out here now that I'm working at Hologram, constantly wanting to be, a dead fella, a cool cat, a crypto coven. They just want to be an avatar because it's all the rage now, and it's cool that kids can be like, oh, you're VTubing, like you're using a VTuber, and it's like we're out here talking to people in our everyday conversations, and they don't even know what a VRM is. So it's like, whoa, is there a shift happening right now in the space? So I guess we can kind of just talk a
Really?
little bit about all that and all the stuff that's just been happening in the space here lately, in content creation and IP activations and utilizations.
This is the meta of my show, and it's the reason why sort of I LARP, and I talk to my NFTs, because it's just like we've been on social media pretty much all our life, and it's just like I'm sick of like me just like trying to present this version of me, and like oh, it's curated and it's perfect. There's something freeing, and I think that every artist that steps into LARPing in sort of this virtual way feels so much freedom, and feels the ability, because we're all multi-hyphenates, and feels that ability to maybe pursue something else. Look at spotty Wi-Fi. I noticed you kind of were playing around with the little spotty Wi-Fi one, but it's just like look at that guy now. He's like fully pursuing like his music, where it's like if you're yourself, you sort of feel self-conscious. You're like, oh gosh, am I going to be seen as this type of,
Totally.
or a creative or whatnot? And it's very, very hard. But if you get behind a character, and I think that that's why we all sort of have PFPs on Twitter, and have that ability to say like your best, the person with the best ideas is the one with the most followers that's not botted. So it's about the content really. Once you get into these characters, so we're all focusing in on how well Burning Bush, the ideas of Burning Bush right now, and his alien friends, versus anything else about you right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really crazy. Like, even if I wasn't fully doxxed, like, I think a piece of technology like this is really fun. Coming on to Hologram about three months ago, coming from Monaverse, a lot of us familiar with when I was on the show talking about Monaverse and all the amazing things we were doing there, you know, just kept really pushing the boundaries of, Web3 identity and this whole persona that we have when we turn on Twitter, or we go on Twitter, or when we go to these events, and we have these names, these pseudonyms that we kind of go on, these aliases that maybe people that are local to us don't even know us as, right? So like, I have to get used to introducing myself as Lee or Burning Bush depending on what crowd I'm with. And so it's funny that a lot of people know me as my cheddar gang, my alien friend with the cheddar on his head. Shout out to the cheddar gang out there, but that is just like who I am. Like, that's my forever PFP. Even if Elon would allow me to change it and I wouldn't have to go like lose my blue check mark and all of that rigmarole, I would still keep this PFP because it's now a part of who I am. So that's kind of where programs and softwares and applications like Hologram come in, and Monaverse come in, and Spatial and Hyperfly, and all of these amazing platforms that are allowing you to take your identity one step further. Did I ever think that I wanted to become my alien friend and be talking here with like a slight lip sync and my eye tracking, and I'm like got cheese swinging like two earrings? I never really, that was never something I ever was like, man, I really hope I can do that. Of course, we always want to see our PFPs become a cartoon, or, go into a TV show or some sort of anime or what have you. But to actually, it just become me, and it just be like, oh, I'm looking over this way, I'm looking this way. Oh, close my eyes, open my mouth. And it's all just like, this is really fun. I really, really enjoy this. And so then it just really becomes down to, where does it end? Where is it possibly going to end? Are we going to have, the Cheddar News Network, where me and all my Cheddar alien friends get together and we do a fully produced news show, crypto news show a week, that's like Weekend Update, where I've got, a YouTube screen share going in my top left corner, and we're talking about it. And I'm like, here's Lee with the weather. We've got all these amazing utilities and, just opportunities in front of us, right? And so where do we go next, man? Where could we possibly go next?
That's exactly it. It's just like you step in there, and when you're creative, and when media, you're like, oh wow, this is so freeing. And as you said, the ideas just start coming. And if you have a community that's like really into it, but other alien friends, or a hologram community, or a 3D hub lab, and so you have these communities that love this stuff, and you begin building and you inspire each other as you kind of begin to iterate your own IP. And again, it's so much more exciting to me to have something that I can wear, leverage, use in media, outside of a 2D PFP. And I think that that's what's really strong about what I really liked about Hologram early on. When I first discovered Hologram, when there was only like one or two, PFP projects on board at the time, but you were taking the 2Ds and instantly you could do this with it, and suddenly you have a character that you can inhabit, as opposed to just this 2D PFP that sat in your wallet.
Yeah, totally. And it's just like now we've seen so many projects, want to incorporate the avatars, and it's taken a long time. And whether we're working on 3D or whether we're working on 2D, right now I'm using just a very simple 2D version. So like a lot of people, they're like, man, how do you rig a 2D image? Like, how is this happening? And so like on the tech side of things, do we have an AI system that's out here? Because basically what has to happen to rig a 2D flat image like this is all of these individual layers. So my eyes, my mouth, the cheese, the head, the ears, the jacket, everything has to be taken into a layer in and of itself. So they all turn into solo layers and are individually rigged one at a time as a huge image source. So all those layers go together, and that's how they are rigged. And so then you take into account something. Let me grab one of my 3D files here. So
As
if
you're
we
saying,
take
you're grabbing your 3D file,
yeah.
what is the file type that you're grabbing and applying here?
So this will be a VRM. These are all the 3D ones are VRMs, and all of the other ones I believe are GLBs. But the way that they all operate though is they are all shadow token. Well, I use the term shadow token because they are paired to the coinciding NFTs. So the NFT that coincides with it. So for instance, this Alien Friend Evolution has this hologram attached to it. So this is actually kind of special in that sense of it's one of the few, because we're not officially partnered with Alien Friends yet, to where the full collection's available or where all the Alien Friends have that opportunity. So, this Alien Friend technically could be worth a little bit more, or should be,
There's a
and
higher
it should be
trade
worth
floor
some
for you,
more.
friend.
Yeah, it's like, how can you add that little value added there?
Yeah.
So I think that's just kind of something cool too.
It is, as you said, it's a value add. It's something that you can add on to the value of your token, and that's part of what we've been talking about lately this month is about adding adding layers on top of layers of value on top of your asset, on top of storytelling and this idea of layer twos. But here you come with an actual another token, another asset that goes along with that NFT. So if I were to sell that NFT, that token comes along with it.
Oh, there's my messed up eyes one.
Oh no. the, the eyes are that's
Going in my head there. Get my eye tracking off there. So this is like our little hologram ape here. This is the one that we own actually, and then we just slapped the hologram logo on the hat just to brand it.
because you can't use the base E, so you can use that. Perfect.
Aha. So yeah, well, this is what we've really been pushing hard lately, and really just working on promoing, is that we've actually got all of the 10,000 apes done.
Wow.
And so there's actually a couple of friends out there who gave me permission to use their apes as well. But there's some really good looking apes out here, and we're just really excited to let them kind of play around with them, give us some feedback, and just a free claim just for more people to just learn about this technology. Because not everyone is like us. Or people that are watching this show, a lot of people that are familiar with this kind of technology. This is nothing new. This is like, oh yeah, we've been waiting for this to happen,
Yeah.
and now here we are.
But these are articulated really well too. Like the apes that you're showing me right now. Apes, and I know very well personally, mutant apes are so hard to do. These are so hard to come across. Going from the 2D to the 3D, it takes artists to translate that. It is an art in itself. And you can see sort of the details of what's going on with the hair and the ears and the facial expressions are coming along really, really well, in terms of translating a 2D project.
Yeah, shout out to the art team and Irene and everyone that's just kind of holding it down for the art side of things. It's really, really cool to just be in the meetings and see like, hey, what's the art team been working on? Because it's like you jump on a meeting on a team call with hologram and it's like, who's everyone gonna show up as today? And it's like everyone's got a new avatar every day. And it's like, oh man, Lee, why are you always using your cheddar all the time? It's like, oh man, this is the brand, baby. I gotta keep the cheese on my head. I'm here to party. But it's just it's a good time, and it just really goes back to what we were talking about. It's just that identity and that persona that we have, and whether we're having a bad hair day or could always just turn it on just like this and just kind of overlay it and make it feel like we're just out here in the open, holding up my hand, give a wave or what have you. um, you know, the possibilities are really endless.
And so with it, is there a specific vision that that hologram has, like, from its inception of doing these types of avatars, and over the course of, the past, I don't know, feel like a year or so, has the vision changed for what the what hologram is doing, what hologram does? Because for me, again, it's liberating these 2D PFPs into doing what you're doing now, which is inhabiting your character. And again, it's having fun, but it's also media development and IP development in a very, very powerful way.
Yeah, I think just like a really the core beliefs and just kind of who we are at Hologram in regards to what we see the future being is, your IP and your brand should be usable everywhere. So whether that is on a Zoom call, whether that's on your TikTok content, whether that's streaming, your favorite video game to your community, um, I think that we think that it should be accessible and usable everywhere across all forms. It's not just a PFP anymore. It's so much more than a PFP. It's an actionable item. It's a persona that you can actually don now and put on and become. So it's taking it that much step further. And so, there's this whole new generation of artists that will be born through that IP. Artists who never imagined video creation was going to be possible before now. They have it as a reality because they can become these PFPs. So, the next big Twitch streamer, the YouTube creator, we've seen the Asian markets, how popular the VTubing is. And so, once it actually makes it over here into some Western cultures, it's just going to pop off and go crazy. So, I just think it's going to be one of the biggest onboarding tools for a lot of people because they're going to hear about NFTs and Web3 and a lot of just specific things in our space through a talking avatar, through a hologram, through someone using this technology because it's way more applicable, understandable, and just easy for them to understand when they see it come to life, as opposed to you're paying how much money to have that to just put as a profile picture as just your header. And
Yeah.
it's like, can you become it? It's like, no, I can call on a video. I can become this person and it's motion tracked. And then you start talking about motion tracked and most normies are just like, what? Motion tracking technology? Wow.
Is motion track technology from a year ago? I was looking at replacing faces about a year ago. We saw a lot of face swapping,
Sure.
very, very popular. And there was a level of ease in doing it, but it was still, you had to, kind of, if you wanted to do it well, you had to track, and have, like, a very expensive rig in doing it. Even, the big VTubers in Asia that do well in Asia, they have
Yep.
expensive rigs. Like, they're, it's just like, it's
Yeah.
their face, they have tracking marks. But right now, everything I do is on my iPhone. Everything I do is, or maybe a combination of desktop. This is how powerful the tools we have that everybody has access to, are here, and at everyone's disposal. But I wanted to ask, in terms of what you're doing right now, is there a dashboard? Like, because right now we're in a Zoom, and
Sure.
so do you have a dashboard? Like, what's the actuation of getting your avatar into this
Yeah,
conversation?
let me just I'll screen share and just kind of do not necessarily a tutorial, but a kind of like a little walkthrough of just kind of how the desktop studio app looks like. Because I think it'll be pretty cool for people to see. So let me just pick hologram
And
and
so that's the
share.
thing is like the onboarding process, for all these new people, they're going to come by way of seeing, a buddy comedy with, your cheesehead and my I'm a degen. They're gonna be
Sure, yeah,
like, what the hell?
exactly.
And then that's the thing is just like then they're going to see something like this show that shows them how damn easy it is to do. And
Yes.
it really sparks people. It really does when they see like, oh, all I need is my iPhone. Oh, all I need is one app.
Yep,
And,
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah. So this is just like the studio setup. We have a Chrome extension that you can download or a Brave extension that you can download on your browser. I prefer the studio. If you're just wanting something quick to
So
use
there's two
for
options there.
something.
There's a studio app download, and then there's
Yep.
Chrome extension. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so web extension. So you can pick your poison there, whichever one you choose
Yeah.
or you see fit. I think the studio is the go-to, in my opinion. I just suggest everyone just would be better off just to
That
download
studio
that.
is available not just on PC, but also on Apple as well.
Yes, sir, it is. We've got two different versions on Mac, one for the M1 chips and one for the Intel. So we've got you covered on Mac. But I will say, hit up one of the other team members for your Mac support because Burning Bush is a PC diehard. So I'm not the best to help. I know most of any troubleshooting I can help with, but when it comes down to it, we might have to go to one of our Mac specialists, but we'll have to go to the Genius
Okay,
Bar.
because what you're doing right now is agnostic, and this is the same dashboard for every single.
Yes, correct. Yes. So this is literally what it will look like. You'll actually come to the featured section when you first get in there. So there's a ton that you can already go in and choose from. And shout out to Psych here, Dead Fellas. A lot of people just saw Betty posted her video here this yesterday. That's done really well, and they're really excited. And we are so excited for the Dead Fellas. Pudgy Penguin. So this gives you an example of just some of the collections that we're partnered with and working with now. And so you can just choose a couple of those to be and play around with. So even if your collection or your NFT isn't available as a hologram, you have some available to you right now to go and use on your calls. If you're doxed or if you're undoxed, sorry, and you're want to jump on a Zoom call and you want to be a dead fella, you can just go straight on there, click on the dead fella, click use hologram. It'll buffer there for a second. And here we are.
It's that easy. And so that's the thing is just like, jumping in on things as simple as Zoom calls, but then you start getting into, the VTubing, etc. But you just need that easy accessibility to those VRMs because those VRMs have to be hosted and all these sort of things. And it seems like that's what Hologram does.
We're doing it all in-house for you. That's like, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the beauty of it is that it's working through. You can see I've got my wallet connected up here in the top. So when I go back here to the main page and go to personal, it's got mine that are actually in my wallet. So I've got my Bored Ape and I've got my Alien Friends Evolution, which are two holograms that I have. Can click on them and then choose them individually if I want to use them.
Awesome.
So that's kind of the simple, easy way to do it. And the cool thing about the studio is that it kind of operates as your in-house content creator as well. So, we click down here on this color wheel, we can set our green screen. So maybe we're going to use a green screen filter. So we can set our green screen. Maybe we just want to pick our color. So like I just usually set the traditional black. But, on stream, I've got, I can go to media here, click and download or click and upload an image here if I have an image that I want to put in. Or I can, drag and drop it in there and set my whole background. We can share a window. So for instance, I could go share, our window call here. I could share, our Discord, anything I want to. So for instance, I'll just pull up the Discord. So here's the Discord page. Can literally do a screen share. So it's like what I was talking about earlier with like a weekend update type show where I'm like, hey everyone, here's my presentation on how to use Discord. So something like that is just a cool feature that we have on there. You can put a video or a GIF in the background, add some music or what have you. You can even just click the plus button down here and make a little in-house video if you want to shoot a click. Hey, GM everybody from Minty Fresh and Burning Bush. We're just talking about the side hustle out here. And then it'll cut that video. I can post it straight to Twitter. So this is just really it's supposed to be a very easy, quick way to create your content inside of your computer without having to get any of your heavy lifting apps in there, right? So this is a quick content creator inside that we've created, adding a lot of features on the fly. Obviously, this is very early. But everything works great. Throw some text on there if you want to add some name tags or what have you. But yeah, this is pretty much the desktop studio, just as a quick walkthrough and a tutorial on how it operates. That's your
You can
sample.
like how easy it is to bring in your assets, and how it's verified with the Wallet Connect. But then the idea of developing the studio, I think a lot of projects have that idea, but the execution of it can be very, very challenging. But I think something here looks very simple, but it has the tools that content creators need. Sometimes we just need to like get a video out. Like today, this
Yeah.
morning, I was just like, oh, I'm a DJ and dropped, and like I wanted to support them, so I'm just like, I need to like say something about them now in the moment. I don't have time to go and edit, importing
Yeah.
something else into my VRM, and then like, or what are we talking about, like dot avatar or something like that, and then doing it in another app, and then bringing it back out, and then editing it again. So there's
Yeah, I'll literally just jump in here and do like a GM or like read a tweet. I'll just read my tweet and then I'll type my tweet out and then add the video onto the tweet just for a little added engagement or what have you. And just, people love it. People absolutely love to see it. Especially if you don't do any text and then just do the video. So they have to watch the video to get the full message. It's a great marketing tool as well to be used.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is like, character and story, that is Web3 marketing. Community development, that is Web3 marketing. And the more that we understand and begin to finesse and get sophisticated with these tools, the better our opportunities are in the side hustle, the quote unquote side hustle of developing, our own projects or business development with these tools. And so thank you again. It's crazy late, so I wanted to thank you for taking the time, Burning Bush. It's always a pleasure
Always.
hanging out with you, and of course, I hope to have you back on the show and catch up on all your shenanigans, because you are literally one of the hardest working dudes like in the space. And
I
I
appreciate
love
that.
running into you. I love running into you. I loved running into you in NFTLA, and like I know you just got back from New York and you're jet lagged and you're actually heading to Consensus in Austin next week. So you are really in the middle of NFT convention season.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like they all try to do that for us, and you're a family man as well, so you understand how hard it is to like. It's like, why can't you guys spread this out a little bit so it's like I don't have to be away from the kids so long all at one point in time, and the wife. It's rough. So it's you got to find that balance, and happy to meet up with anybody. Find me on Twitter or on the Discord. Would love to meet up with anybody at any of the upcoming events, or if you've got any events coming up that you would love for us to be a part of. We're really just out here trying to support creators, Minty, here at the end of the day, people like you that are out here doing the hard work, making the content on the day-to-day basis, punching that clock, no matter what the price of Ethereum is that day, or no matter what the floor price is, the good people, the good souls out there that got the good vibes. So, shout out to you, Minty, as well. You've been out here grinding for a really long time, and I know that's not going overlooked. Getting that #2 show you were just sharing with me too. That's amazing, dude. So, just keep grinding and keep pushing it, and we'll just do it together, man. We'll get you a hologram here soon and take
Yeah.
it up a notch.
Amazing. Always humbled and a joy to speak with you. Reach out to @BurningBush _ETH on Twitter, and one of the best dudes in the space to talk to.
Cool. Take care, everybody.